Hello and welcome to the Purple Sector's F1 podcast, post Las Vegas Grand Prix edition. My name is Kunal Shetty, and joining me on the podcast as always is the one and only Shashank Shetty. He calls himself the unbiased fan. You can catch him on Twitter, you can catch him on Instagram, the unbiased fan. Or it could be something
Twitter,
else,
buddy.
much more mysterious.
X, not Twitter.
Arey, unbiased fan, the unbiased fan and voice of reason. He's on multiple X handles and Instagram handles, or most probably he's not on any of these Instagram handles. So we don't know. Social media
It's
is
a
not this
mystery.
thing. It's a mystery, but welcome. And joining me on the podcast is always the one and only undercut queen who will be ready for her coronation this coming weekend. Pooja Reddy, who also happens to be a biased fan, just like me. So, welcome back to the show, Poojams. So, the intros were done a little more differently. Not really the flair of Vegas, but we thought we would do something a little different. And then, be ready for the last intros, which will be post Abu Dhabi. I'm going to go all guns blazing on that. There's going to be a lot of things happening. I'm going to just surprise you all with a few interesting segments there. So, no homework will be enough for that episode. So, welcome to the show, guys, and welcome everyone else who's watching.
I think your T-shirt does justice to the Vegas Grand Prix.
Let's roll.
Let's roll. Let's roll the die.
The die. Let's roll the die. The die has been cast. Let's get into the debrief then. I have to start with this. The most cringe-worthy opening ceremony for any sporting event I have ever seen in my life. Now, I don't know if you guys caught it or did you? I mean, you might have just seen glimpses of it. There is no chance you can get through it, in one shot. It is impossible. It was horrible. And you could see the look on all the drivers' faces as to what the hell is happening. Some people pretended as usual. Hashtag grateful was like grateful that they did the ceremony, but it was really bad. Like it was, and then you had Will.i.am coming up with a song for the event, which could have been written by a 6-year-old. Like, let's go.
I think
he's just going, let's go. He had 3 words. It was so bad.
I would say our rhymes were 1,000 times better than Will.i.am's rhymes.
100%. Yeah, it was.
2 words. Yeah, correct.
It was really bad. I mean, it started off with that opening ceremony that set kind of the precedent as to how it was going to be, especially to begin with, which leads us into an absolute shit show which was FP1.
Yeah.
Where obviously the running was for I think 6 minutes or 9 minutes.
8 minutes, I think. Yeah.
8 minutes.
Yeah,
and then obviously 2 incidents. One, obviously the major incident with Sainz, which was actually quite scary. Everyone in the paddock saw it that way except for Mr. Toto. This has been a weekend where my respect for Toto has fallen down several fold. In the Toto versus Christian Horner battle as to who's more cranky and irritable, Toto has now taken the lead.
It's very easy. Whoever is losing gets more irritable and cranky.
See the voice of reason coming up with. See, all this is calculated. There is no really. Everything is circumstantial. So it all depends on the circumstance.
Also, apparently, from what I've heard, is Toto has ambitions of getting into the echelons of FIA, so that's why he didn't say anything. Very brash.
He didn't say anything, but he did know it was because of him.
No, that's what, because he didn't say
anything
bad
bad
against the FIA.
Against the FIA,
because
and
he has some I don't know, some major
Plans.
Ambitions, I think.
Yeah. I intend to transcribe his entire whatever he said in that press conference and just put it up on our channel so people can read it and just see for themselves how idiotic it was. I know you can find it on YouTube, but I just want to transcribe the entire thing in prose and put
Yeah.
it on. So it was just ridiculous. I mean, there's one thing to, go with the organizer saying, you could have said, teething problems. It happens. I understand it was an issue,
Yeah.
but, him so vehemently supporting this thing, and he's calling it, yeah, big deal. Manhole cover has come previously off, at Baku and a couple of other places. And for a guy who was so adamant that the porpoising was going to break the backs of his drivers, and for safety reasons, he was vehemently opposing, the fact that the ride height was kept to that that height that it was. For him to just be so lackadaisical in his whole, understanding of the situation with that manhole cover, and the fact that it basically broke the Ferrari, and it broke the plank, and there was a hole in the floor. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. And
It didn't happen to his
obviously,
car, so that's why his mindset also. Had it happened to one of his cars, he would have kept quiet.
but that's
Yeah, I
that's
think
where that's where Max for me really gave it the full beans in terms of being very
Yeah,
open
that's
about
true.
his lack of admiration for the opening ceremony. Again, he was all about the opening ceremony, the fact that it was 99% show, 1% race. Also,
Mm.
my undercut point also I got. If someone asked, did he really say it? I've got all information and all evidence that can get me that 1 point. But yeah, he at least stuck to his guns. In fact, post that, obviously, what happened was the penalty for Sainz, which which Max just plainly said. I mean, that was his best press conference till date in terms of being super open and honest, saying that, I know why, he's got it, and it's absolutely unfair. But knowing how politics works in the sport,
Yeah,
it's obvious that most people, I mean, a lot of people are going to oppose it. Now from, again, multiple sources, whether it's true, not true, we can't quite confirm, is that Ferrari obviously went to the FIA and said that this is absurd penalty, and the rule book has to be overlooked on this part.
yeah,
So apparently they said, if the other teams completely, it's a unanimous, we are in agreement that, this should not happen, and, we can completely disregard, the rules on this one. Apparently Mercedes were the only one who said no, the 10 place grid penalty has to happen, that you can't go against what's written on the rule book.
yeah.
Again,
Because
this is not confirmed, uh, but again, signs at the end
science
of the
also said
race,
it. Yeah,
he said it. So it's, if science has said it, there might be some truth. uh, so there's no smoke without fire. But I think, given, if we do a 2 plus 2 and calculate that, Toto has been completely out of it this weekend, so it's highly possible that an emotional Toto is the only one who said, no, we are not, we are
yeah,
not going to
it's
disregard the rule book. It
it's
is possible.
emotional
emotional. Yeah,
plus.
emotional, but plus I think he knows that Ferrari is quite close to where
That's
the
what.
marks
Yeah,
are. So
they can take
it's
P
an
two.
emotional and I would say also a calculative move.
Calculated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this I
quite
agree.
calculative. But I wouldn't think he was so bitter. I feel like he's gotten quite bitter
Very
after
bitter.
his
Yeah.
surgery that he had. I think he had a knee surgery, so I
He
think
had
he
a knee
hasn't been
surgery.
cycling.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's why
Oh,
he was out for those Grand Prix. No, I think 3 4 Grand Prix. So
yeah,
from the
yeah,
knee
yeah, yeah.
surgery,
Oh, I didn't know that.
while he
I
was
didn't know that.
recovering, they called him and told him to speak to Lewis and
Wow.
George at that track and say, "Listen,
Oh,
guys."
I didn't know this. This is interesting. So that's why
He had
he's
a knee
cranky.
surgery. He's cranky because of that, because of all the medication, and obviously, I think he
He
likes
expected rest.
he likes his working out, he likes his cycling, and he likes his.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if
Fair point.
if somebody
No,
tells me that I can't do all of that, even I'm going to get as cranky as Toto.
oh no, we didn't want to. We never want to be in a situation where, in a press conference, where
These are
you
two
have
hours.
not done your things, and oh my god, I'll leave the
Get
press
ready,
conference. I
guys.
wouldn't bother. For us, in our case, Poojan, it will be, if he's not done this and comes on the podcast, we'll have to mute the guy. lose his mind. So you'll see one of those times not type debates. You just mute the guy and he'll be just going like that, like he's just gesticulating and talking all kinds of shit. Oh, this is
Well,
interesting, but I
I
didn't
heard,
know this about
yeah,
Toto.
he couldn't walk even the first Grand Prix that he made a comeback. So if you see the
But this was a
conference
perfect time for
photo,
him to showcase a pimp limp, Sashi, in Vegas. Good
he
place
has
for a
been
pimp limp.
showcasing a pimpling. I don't know if that happened in Vegas, but before now it was totally happening.
Vegas would have been the
Poor
perfect
Susie
spot.
also told him that I'm not coming.
Ah,
Sorry?
Vegas would have been the
What?
perfect spot for a pimp limp. That's what Kuno
Yeah.
means. Yeah.
I can just see the
Hey, can you showcase it
video.
here?
Yeah, he's doing a pimpling in front of the fountains, the Bellagio fountains. That is a scene to behold.
Oh no, yes, a very serious conversation has gone into a
Where have we
pimp
gone? Yeah.
limp in front of the Bellagio. This is not going the way we wanted. So just quickly coming back now. So we finished with our the shit show, which was the opening ceremony, then the shit show, which was
One.
FP1. FP2, the chaos in FP2 was more to do with how they asked the fans to bounce, saying that this is going to be going to do COVID scenes here with in terms of no fans allowed, and the reason being why they did that, right? They did that because
There were
it was so late. They didn't have
there
enough
weren't any
people
people.
who could manage the crowds, and all those guys, the stewards and all that, just bounced out. Stewards in the sense, the people who are just managing the crowds and being in all of the stands to make sure things are all right and people are not throwing shit onto the track. So that's the reason. And then in true F1 style, which is recently the way F1's become, is they've become too obnoxious. So not a semblance of an apology. Told the fans to bounce off, and then gave them some $200 gift card or something, which they can obviously redeem in the merchandise stores, I think, at the track. I mean, leave the $200. I think just an apology, saying that we sincerely apologize for what's happened, and these are teething. At least say that we perhaps made a mistake.
Yeah.
We put our
Yeah.
hands up
Own
for
up
the
to it.
mistake, own up to it, saying that this. I mean,
It's the first
it
one.
happens to the best of us. Yeah, it happens to the best of us. It's the first
Yeah, correct.
Grand
More than a
Prix.
dollar amount, I
Things,
think they should have just owned up.
yeah, he just owned up and said, sorry. I mean, it happened, and this is unfortunately the way. Then a $200 gift card, it just wouldn't matter. Then you just say, okay, the average fan, I think, would just say, okay, fine. It is what it is. We can accept like an apology,
Yeah.
but they didn't do any of that. The action actually in FP2, I actually saw a lot of FP2 because obviously it was great timing for us. So everything was perfect timing. We could see it in the morning, like late morning, early afternoon, late afternoon. So FP2 actually FP2 is when I watched most of it, and that's where I got super excited about Ferrari space, because straight out of the blocks, both of them were just flying, and you could
And if I'm not
and
mistaken, I think FP3 also was cut short, no? So FP2
Yeah.
was the
There was a red
only
flag in 3
practice.
also.
yeah, FP3 was cut
Alphonse
short. Yeah,
crash.
yeah, correct. The Albon crash. But yeah, it was something else that I realized is it's actually very easy to understand the real pace of the car, not just by seeing it, but body language in these press conferences. Even Lando, I just went and looked back at Lando's press conference where he said, "Yeah, we're not too sure," and all, with one glint in his eye. So you kind of now, get that body language, and some people hide it better than the others. Max doesn't hide anything. Max, though,
Yeah.
he says it also. But yeah, both Charles and of course Sainz's body language after the FP1 incident was he
He
wanted to
was,
kill
yeah,
someone,
in a
which
very
is
bad mood.
understandable. So he was in a
He
very
kept
bad
saying,
mood. I'm in a bad mood.
I don't want to talk.
Sainz said that even after the race that
Yeah.
it was all good, but don't mistake me for being in a good mood now. Also, I'm still pretty
He
pissed
said, I
off
just want to forget this
throughout the
incident.
weekend.
Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had done.
Yeah, it was super unfortunate. Given now coming to the next point in our debrief that Ferrari were absolutely amazing in qualifying. Qualifying, though, I've never seen them be that good. They were, I think, Max was 3 times off Carlos. And honestly, Charles, I think, made a couple of mistakes. So that's why even Carlos got like close to less than a 10th off him. Because Charles was in that, that magic god mode. Charles had turned up after FP2. He was
Yeah.
just in another planet. Even in qualifying Q1, Q2, he was just miles ahead. Q2, I think he was ahead by half a second. So he made a mistake. So just they were blistering in qualifying, absolutely blistering. And given the track conditions, cold, not hot, so the tires weren't overheating, and also a very smooth surface, so not much degrading from the surface of the racetrack itself. So my hopes were definitely going higher and higher,
And
and
also a lot of straights.
a lot of straights. Yeah, it's great to have. I mean, there was
No
a
high
point where the
speed
Ferrari engine
corner.
was the poorest. Now it's the
Not
top
too
engine.
honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and no
yeah.
high speed corners also. So
No high
obviously, when
speed
there are high
corners.
speed
No
corners,
high
then
speed
there is a
corners.
lot
Correct.
of deck.
Correct. A lot of load on the tires. And then, of course, add to that the fact that Perez didn't make it out of Q2.
Yeah.
So I was writing a nice poem and all for this podcast.
Yeah.
Alas, that didn't happen because the race really worked out in his favor. Which brings me to the race itself. I think, for me, I think the best race of the season. Best race of the season because there's been a lot of overtaking in a lot of races, but this was the first time Max got overtaken on track multiple times,
Yeah.
or maybe just whatever. He was in the fight. It was not like he just had such a tire advantage that even if you get past him, he'll be like, yeah, I'm just going to get past you. He didn't have that level of confidence. And the action was outstanding. I think they got it bang on in terms of the track not being a great driver's track in terms of it's not technical. There's not much really in terms of there are no fast corners, so there's no sudden changes in direction and all. But in terms of it being a track to race on, I think it had a lot of Baku elements without the extremely narrow section of Baku, and it absolutely delivered. And it was a fantastic race, absolutely fantastic. The only thing which kind of was a bit of a bummer was that second safety car, which I think took away Charles's chance. Though I don't know if he would have pakka come first, he would have won the race, but that took away his chance, I think, of nailing P1. What did you guys think of the race? I
I
think it
think one more
was
thing was there was overtaking happening throughout the race. It wasn't just the first 5 laps, and then afterwards you have
Also,
a lull
everywhere.
till the last five. Yeah, literally, I think throughout the race we had action happening, and one more thing is it's good that sometimes it's not only the engineering part of the sport that is tested, because a lot of the times it's the engineering part that is tested if you have those highly technical corners and quick corners. So
yeah.
it was a good change, I think. Although the drivers, and especially drivers like Max, say that they did enjoy it, I think it was good for the fans.
That's what I read somewhere
Yeah, I
also.
think he enjoyed the race.
He enjoyed the race. You
Yeah,
could
he
see it
went.
from his
He enjoyed the race and he
body
went
language
Viva Las
also.
Vegas. He was
Yeah,
singing on the radio.
correct. Even in the even after he got the penalty, I was
Yeah.
very surprised when he didn't really complain about it. Neither did Draco. I don't know if it was they not complaining or it was because the FI told the broadcasters to not broadcast the complaints. But it all seemed like everybody was quite okay with what was happening on track,
Mm.
the drivers. Otherwise, the
No,
first thing that will be,
knowing
what,
how
see
this
what he
is
did.
managed, yeah, knowing how this was managed, this is generally managed by the FI. I think they
They
didn't
didn't
put
broadcast
that
those
on the, yeah,
complaint
they didn't
messages. Even
broadcast
I
that.
think
I
it was that.
I think Max especially actually was super sarcastic. Yeah, Poojams.
No, I mean he was, but at the end of it, even Draco admitted that it was his fault only. No, in
Yeah,
between, I
correct.
thought it was actually Max who went into him, but like at the end of it, this
Draco.
Draco
guy.
literally said that, what, I was
Yeah.
sleeping. I didn't see him coming.
He was sleeping or was blinded by the lights because it was quite spectacular. The lighting and
Yeah.
everything, that sphere, the Bellagio.
He's been so
Uh,
distracted.
yeah, it was. Yeah, he saw. I think he just got distracted because for him to just turn into Max like that, he said, yeah, he had no clue he was next to him. Which was
That's
a
what.
strange one. That
Also,
incident
I
was.
think one more thing that was great about the track was they weren't there wasn't just that one overtaking opportunity throughout the circuit. There were like three or four places that people were getting past the drivers. So it wasn't that one place where, at the end of a straight you have an overtaking chance. I saw Lewis getting past somebody even on the last turn, that turn 17, which leads
Yeah, yeah,
into
he
the
got past
start
one
finish
of the Williams. I
straight. I
think
think
Sargent. Yeah,
Alonso,
yeah.
not Alonso.
No, no, Sargent he got.
Yeah, I
Only
think one of the
Sargent could leave
Williams.
that open on that this thing. He would have not positioned his car on the top.
Yeah, so that was also one great thing about the track,
Yeah.
that you could get past people not only in that one end of the long straight. That's why even Russell was a little surprised that Max made the move there. He said that, what, I didn't expect Max to make the or anybody to make a move there, because he said that I would get past anybody who got past me at that corner, which I don't know if it's true, but that's what he said.
No, it was an interesting race. Obviously, started off with that the mayhem at the start on the first corner. Also, low grip conditions. A lot of people misjudged how much grip and how much to brake, and you saw a lot of issues happening. Max obviously couldn't get it slowed down. You had, I think, Alonso spinning. You had Sainz going into
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Hamilton's rear left tire, and you also had
Bottas looks
Bottas
fine.
caught in no position. He's like, they call it that the two cars kissed. It seems. So Bottas, again, and Bottas is like, I don't know, he's living the best part of his life now. He was so before the race, basically, they have all these events with fans.
Mm.
So they give free merchandise and all. This idiot was throwing out his nude calendars into the He's come up with a calendar.
I've put in a bid for that calendar, by the way.
I brought him in something.
Crazy. Crazy guy, but yeah, he was just having a gala time as usual. And then of course, like the race didn't pan out well for the Williams, who were fifth and sixth. I think they qualified sixth and then started fifth, sixth. So that kind of was a lost opportunity for them to seal that seventh place, and that's why I think they're now getting into the next race with a lot of open positions for right from second to 10th for constructors. So that's going to be that's going to be interesting. So
There are
yeah, a
five
couple of
in play for P4, no?
yeah. So it's
correct.
Yeah.
So it's 11 points between Aston behind McLaren, and obviously Mercedes is 4 points ahead of Ferrari.
No, I mean even in the drivers' championship, like the first three spots have been secured, but Alonso.
Yeah, below that, it's all open.
4 to
Correct.
8, I think, is quite close. 4
It's
to
all
7.
open.
Yeah.
It's all open. So some mischief makers are saying people will actually say that from a team's perspective, because they have that sliding scale. So if you finish third instead of second, you get lesser time in the in the
The wind
winter
tunnel
also.
time.
Do they really want to be in second? Do they really want to be in third? But I don't think
That's
that's the case.
that's
I don't think. I
apparently
think
what
they just want to
Aston
win.
Martin did,
Yeah,
no? I think last season
I think they did that last season.
they did
Pakka they
that. They
did that.
wanted,
They
yeah,
all
they that's
these
what it's
chomu
not.
things they only do, man.
Yeah, it's not 100% confirmed, but
Yeah, yeah. I think they did something.
there is no smoke without a little bit of fire. So I think I'm
Yeah, yeah.
sure they did something like that.
They did something like this only because that was Sebastian's last race. And Sebastian at the back end of the season was always qualifying well and he was just going back in the race. So it was like strategy. I don't know who was doing. Basically, the guy who wrote that Will.i.am song, I think.
Yeah.
Someone who can't really do. Because I don't think Will.i.am also wrote that song. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, it was poor. Some special shout outs which we have to mention for this race. Yeah, I think the track itself, good for racing. So that's something that we've actually discussed in detail. So that's one. Lance came in fifth again. So this is back to back fifth places. The apocalypse is here. Something is wrong. Something is wrong in the matrix. What is happening? Bujams, do you have some insight into this? Is he stopped focusing on his other sporting careers?
He's been getting a lot more hugs and affection from Papa every time he comes with
Papa.
all the love that's making the difference for Stroll. They focused on it also this time. Papa Stroll.
Yeah, they did. They did see. Yeah, they did show Papa Stroll.
Yeah.
I
And
thought
the-
you
His
were going to
family was
say-
all there.
And the beard also, I think. Something has happened suddenly.
Listen, the beard makes him look like a, I don't want to say it, but like a Mexican guy who makes blue
he
films.
put a cap on top of it like that also.
You know,
Mexican porn star is one thing. Some people were writing like, you put a, after FP1, he should be one of the track workers. He looks like a proper, blue collared worker. He should go and, fix
Yeah,
everything
somehow-
outside.
most well-maintained or good-looking beard, I must say.
it is or it's not.
It's not.
It's not, it's
I
horrible.
agree. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, it's quite bad.
No
And-
shame
and-
November, seriously. I think. Him and that Ocon, both these fellows, came with that one. Great growth on them.
He should do another character.
Ocon's at least is okay. Okay in the sense, the guy I don't think gets a beard, so
But
that's
he
all that he
has
can
this
do.
time.
He
Him
has.
and Stroll,
He's
both
yeah.
finished 4 and 5. See, it's the magic of the
Oh,
beard.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But I
November.
don't know. I felt like Stroll's demeanor also throughout the whole weekend was quite. I don't know. It was quite down for some reason. Even after
He's
the
very dull, yeah. After fifth,
yeah,
also,
even
yeah.
after the
I mean, it
fifth,
was
day,
well
he was
said.
so dull. He was like, "Oh yeah, okay, this is okay. I'll take it. I'll take what I get." He's talking as if he's
He has
been
zero
finishing first
personality.
the last 10 races, and this fifth is oh my god, I'll just take what I get now.
He has zero personality, that guy. Zero. He's got the least personality on the grid.
Yeah, I saw a post. I think Alonso and this guy Stroll. I think they posed for some high-end brand, and Alonso was looking like a stud, and
saw
this guy
this.
was looking so
Yeah.
out of place
I know what
in
you're
that
talking about.
in that suit. Like you
Hugo
said,
Boss.
it was.
They pose for Hugo.
Yeah.
okay.
It looked like they got some guy from, like you guys said, some guy who
On the
was
street.
from the on the streets of Vegas and said, "Take this suit and pose for us."
Yeah, he's
Because
very
one-
dull, yeah. He's
Yeah,
got
it's-
nothing to give to the sport. He's really got nothing to give to the sport. For example, someone like a Yuki Tsunoda is he's so crack, but he adds to the sport. Obviously, Danny Rick adds a lot to the sport. So if you're not like a super amazing driver, then you have to have something that gives that added boost that get at least some fans. Even Sargent has some fans because he seems like a really nice guy. So he's always nice on the radio. He's nice. Post also he's nice. This fellow he'll be like, I don't know.
I think he just wants to be
Basically.
done now with the season. Anyway.
I
One
think
more.
he's just he's not interested
He's on his,
anymore.
I think he's on his way out of
He's
the
disinterested.
sport. Yeah, I think Papa Stoll is doing all that hugs and all that just to probably Sorry?
Just for the camera.
Yeah, I think it's just for the camera and just, so that everybody does not know what's happening behind the scenes. He's out.
You heard it here first,
Yeah,
guys.
you were. I think he's out. Yeah, no, that's what his demeanor was really off. Yeah, anyone who's struggling who suddenly who does two P5s in a row. Imagine in that place you put Yuki Sonoda. You would have just cursed everyone. You would have in a happy way cursed him. Yeah, very, very nice. But the guy again, he's a whack job. Yuki Sonoda. He came 20th in qualifying. Was abusing through
I threw
his
that
thing.
thing
What?
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
the safety thing or whatever that is. Clown show. Absolute clown show.
Yeah, that neck brace.
Yeah, neck brace, correct. Couple of other things. One which Pooja mentioned, Ocon P4. I mean, he
Yeah.
was nowhere in qualifying. Drove spectacularly on a track where Alpine were expected to be absolute shit. Fair play. He drove very, very well, and yet again he had some argy-bargy with his teammate. I mean, he went for some crazy moves. He's really, again, he's at least got that personality. You might dislike him, and he's like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. He is so sweet off like outside. He's such a likable guy. Once he puts that helmet on and all, he's a psycho. Full psycho. Psycho mode is on. He does whatever he wants. He likes it. He almost takes pleasure in putting his team under that stress. He loves to race his teammates more than anyone else.
Yeah.
So that's his thing, I think. Ocon. But yeah,
He
personality.
told him
that he's
also,
got.
right? Hold your position with saying hold positions, but by then he found a gap and
bounce.
he took it.
No, but you didn't hear that. His excuse was that he heard only the word position. And
I didn't know this.
even Jack, yeah, so he said he heard only the word position. And apparently that's because of all the buildings that are there around the track. There is a little the communication gap between the guys in the pit lane and the drivers apparently, and Jack Doohan also corroborated that fact. So then after Jack Doohan corroborated the fact, Ocon was so happy that what, I didn't make this stuff up. It's really what happened.
Oh.
Where all this info? See, Pooja, from where all he's getting information? This guy too good.
Like, this is-
Jack Doohan and all. He corroborated something that this fellow said.
and
Yeah,
this
He was
is
carrying his book of excuses, I think. This fellow doesn't. Like, Ocon doesn't carry a book of excuses related to mistakes that he's made on the book of excuses to why I didn't listen to what my team is saying or asking me to do. Multitude of excuses he's got like
This
that.
actually happened when your favorite guy was interviewing Ocon.
Who was my favorite guy?
What's that guy's name, man? The
Will
guy who does
Buxton.
the show. Will was
Will.
was with
Yeah.
Jack, and Ocon came to talk to these guys. So that's when
Yeah.
this conversation happened.
Snippet. Very cool. But yeah, kudos to Ocon. However he did it, he got to a P4 from back of the grid. Fantastic. And unfortunately, I have to make this shout out that Perez didn't suck again, at least in the race. It is really depressing for me to do these podcasts without,
a poem.
having something poor to say about Checo. But yeah, he got really lucky to be in a position to fight for the lead, but he was anyways doing a great job from the back of the grid. So have to just quickly put that under the rug and move on. Did you see that point where one more, just coming back to where we started with this episode about the Las Vegas that full circus that they created with at that show, that event, and then they did that announcer that crazy guy will announce in like he's announcing
The
what I
W-
don't know, and he
or the
yelled at
W-
Checo and Checo
No,
something and all he said.
Checo was
Checo
That
was
was so
shocked.
sad. Yeah, Checo didn't know what to
Checo didn't
do.
know he should go to the car. Is he calling to the mic? He's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm going off on camera. That was quite funny. This guy was just
But
introducing everyone in the same manner. This
yeah,
man
yeah,
was
yeah.
confused. I think he wasn't paying attention and he probably thought they were calling him to the mic. And he's just there and he's looking like, oh,
What is
but
the? What are
how,
those introduction? And
how
then
did
they introduce that. Huh? Yeah,
how did
Pooja.
he end up in the same car as Hamilton, Checo? Did he not have a car to sit in?
He ended up in
This was the
Hamilton's car for that
Yeah,
drive,
the
pre
pre-race
this
thing, is
thing.
it?
I'm
yeah.
thinking, what? I didn't see that he drove Hamilton's
No,
car.
no, in the driver's
No
parade.
wonder Toto was angry.
No,
In the driver's
he,
parade. Correct,
yeah.
correct, correct. He ended up in Lewis's car,
Maybe he
and
didn't
then that.
have a car and he didn't know where to go and he was
No,
confused
no.
with
So
this
No.
how,
guy
so what
shouting.
happened is that they all went to those. So they went to the casino and they played on the slots. So that's how they were assigned cars.
Chalbe. Thing
God,
he's saying.
look at this, yeah. Toto's
No, no.
But
secretly
that
the
This was made up.
this is
This
not.
was made
This
up,
was
guys.
made up. It's not official.
But
This
Toto
is not
anyway
official.
But
strictly
that
Not from
said
Jack
announced.
no
Doohan.
casinos.
What, Pooja?
Toto had strictly said no casinos until after the
Yeah,
race.
yeah, no.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. See,
Yeah,
one more snippet. Two jumps though. No casino.
casino.
That Manchester when they he seemed annoyed till only end of the race is when his annoyance went. Otherwise, he was just irritated about the show, and that announcer is yelling his thing. So he would have been like, please, or maybe I didn't see the announcer how he announced Max's name, but yeah,
Usually,
it
like
was
everyone else, only Max
yeah.
Verstappen. Max Verstappen just didn't
Max
look
would have
left
been like.
right. He just went in.
Yeah. There was, by the way, just coming, circling back to that, the launch ka that event, a lot of people compared it to that Hunger Games. Mein you'd see those districts were showcase, no, them District 13, so and so. These are the, what were they called in Hunger Games? What were they?
Forgot, but I know
The
what.
people who were representing your district. Yeah, but it seemed like that. It actually seemed like that they were just sacrificing themselves for their district.
And they were literally given 2 seconds, no? Like that thing came
Yeah,
up,
and then it's going
Ferrari.
down again.
By the time
Yeah.
they do this, they're already on the way down. Then the next team, by the time they do that, they're on the way down. I'm like, so much is for the drivers only focus on that for a bit.
The show, it was the show. And just before we conclude this, berating of how the event was, in terms of it was too Americanized to a different level, was that post FP1, there was that interview which the team bosses were doing with the F1, the official F1. I think it's show or whatever. It's a. Have you seen that? So basically, like how the drivers' press conference, there was a
Okay.
press conference with the F1,
Yeah, I think
person.
you're talking about the one that
Yeah,
Toto
the one I
and
sent you
two
guys.
other people.
That I
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
that guy who was hosting it also, he couldn't read the bloody room. What an idiot he was! He was constantly poking Fred Vassar, and Fred
Very-
Vassar is actually one of the most jovial fellows. So he'll take a bad situation and worst case make a joke out of it. He's constantly prodding him something. What about the show? He's like, dude, I just lost one car. It was a scary, difficult incident. You're probably going to get a 10-place penalty. Plus, in this cost cap era, it's a 1.5 million kind of thing. And you're constantly asking me about he literally he told him, looking at the larger picture, "Sir, what the hell is wrong with you? What larger picture? Like I care about my team and how I'm my performance of my cars." So I think this has to really stop here. There has to be some line drawn. And these guys, while they're given directives, obviously with the FIA, you just have to talk about it in a positive light. It was absurd. That press conference was the most absurd press conference I've seen. And you had Toto being an absolute dick. You had the guy who was hosting the press conference being an absolute dick again. And
But I think Toto told the guy, to not question Fred further.
That was later. He passed
That
some
was later.
comment when
Yeah,
Fred
that
said
was later. And he said, you know what, you're just making it worse for yourself.
yeah, obviously.
It was later.
Which was
Wow.
correct. Yeah, that was
But
later. But
before that, he
that was
passed
the
some
one correct thing
sarcastic
that Toto said.
comment which didn't
Yeah,
get
Toto is very sarcastic also. Yeah, yeah.
He said
Who were
something.
the other two? I think Zach Brown was just sitting like
And the
this.
Williams guy, I think, who wasn't saying anything. He
James Walls.
was peaceful. I think.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. I mean, I'm very impressed with the way he talks, James Walls. Very clear cut and yeah,
Yeah, he seems like
always
a
hope.
very focused, stable guy, I would say. Who
I
doesn't
always hope.
really, yeah, doesn't really involve himself with
Yeah,
drama
in
or
all these
the
things.
other people.
But I really mean well always for Williams. I think a lot of the new fans to the sport don't really understand what Williams stands for and how good Williams actually were and how important they were to the sport when the sport was still growing. Williams is actually, I think it's only second after Ferrari in terms of drivers' titles. And fabulous team. That Frank Williams though was a legend. So it's always good to see a healthy Williams and this guy being at the helm. I'm hoping they get back, more towards the front. Just behind Ferrari, that's all. Yeah. Cool. I think we can quickly go to our 3-word race reviews, which I think we've actually spoken, we've covered all the angles of this race already very well. So, including the opening ceremony. So, Poojan, let me start with you. What is your 3-word race review?
In true Vegas style, I have two reviews. I have two 3-word reviews. One is it's called Karma. That's for Toto. Because
Nice.
whatever, for all that he said, him being a
Rubbish.
dick about
Absolutely.
all of it, and anyway, I think he deserved science. Like I said, I think science should make a comeback and beat these guys, and he did. He finished in front.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Too
that
good it
reason,
was.
it's called Karma, and obviously Charles for taking second place away from these guys, and for Russell not finished. Getting hit also by Max, which he deserved. So yeah, that's why it's called Karma. And also because it's the first race and stuff, the second 3-word review I had is it's only in Vegas, because only in Vegas could a manhole cover had come off, hit the seat, destroyed everything, make this fellow not heal his legs also for a while. Only in Vegas the number of lights, only in Vegas the show, only in Vegas that's clear. So yeah, those are my 3-word race reviews.
On point,
Wow,
both.
nice.
One from the heart, one more creative. Yeah. It's called Karma. Was really something which had to be put out into the universe.
Yeah.
And the Vegas one is, I think, on point. Only in Vegas. Absolutely.
I was trying to think of. I wanted to say what happens in Vegas, but that would become.
It's very long.
Taking a book out of Shashu's, I picked out of Shashu's book. So
but even my 3-word race review also was very similar to what you said.
Which one?
Yeah, even I thought, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas or something like that. But I had to again restrict myself to 3 words, so I just said "Viva Las Vegas" for the 3 words.
Oh,
for all the reasons that you gave, that FP1 being such a shit show, and then after that, Carlos Sainz actually getting a penalty for no fault of his own, and then afterwards FP2 being at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, and then how they sent all the fans away, and then like you said, the lights and the sphere, and of course the race. I think we can't ignore that the race was
brilliant.
also
brilliant.
The race was very interesting for the fans right from the start to the finish. And there were literally three people in the race for P1. Huh?
It was.
So this was a
only
great race. I think
Viva Las Vegas.
A great race for the fans, even if it wasn't the greatest for the drivers. I think this was
the race was fun. I think
it was fun.
Not technical. It's not like a Silverstone where they feel passionate about each corner.
Correct. But I would say that I saw Max was so much happier and satisfied with a victory like this than a victory where he starts on P1 and then we as fans don't really see Max for 59 out of the 60 laps. And then we'll see one pit stop of his, which is 2 seconds. And then afterwards, we'll see him at the checkered flag.
He got coverage, so he's happy.
Yeah, no coverage. And also, I I would prefer that they don't give Justin Bieber the checkered flag next year. That is the
Beats.
only complaint that I have about the race.
That Blue Man group was there. We give them the checkered flag, all of them.
Anybody?
God. We saw enough
The
of that Blue
beats.
Man group. They were there. And the number of Elvis also. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was.
By the way, next season we're going to have we're considering a 3-word race review to be put into a 1-word race review.
Oh,
That's so.
that's gonna be hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
This
going to.
3-word race
it's gonna-
review only.
No,
I
it's
mean,
just a
we
thought.
can rely
Just
on
a
for
thought.
that. Don't worry. We can do
Just a thought. We'll tell you that 1 word. Let's. Oh, crazy.
Go,
Or
go,
go.
go.
See, guys. Yeah, you should not. Yeah, you should actually be. You should be in awe of Will.i.am. It's so tough to have a full song with only 2 words. For us, 3 words. Race review only is so difficult. Imagine
Chelve,
I have a
what
3-minute song in just 2 words.
Songwriter wrote 2
Yeah,
words
he's a
and came.
songwriter. He should be able to write more than 2 words. What?
He
I
wasn't even
know.
on point with his sur, man. He was all over the place.
Yeah.
He was
Like
singing also very bad.
that's you can't even call what he did on stage a song. It's not a song.
And then the crowd, they never showed the crowd like cheering. You could only hear the sounds in your earpiece or where you were seeing it off the TV. It was a strange one. My 3-word race review is straight from the heart, just plain and simple. Justice for Carlos. I think I'm still not over the fact that they gave him that 10 place penalty. It was an absolute joke.
Bad mood.
And absolutely, and given that where Ferrari were, if Carlos was with Charles in the front, I think there was a chance to do a Singapore, and the fact that we were way quicker than we were much closer to Red. I mean, we were just fast here. Singapore, it was super tactical. Here, we were just quick. We would have used both of them, and I'm reasonably sure, 73.6% sure that Charles would have probably won the race.
Oh, he's done
But
the
yeah.
math on that.
Yeah. I'll send you workings. Send you workings on
We
email.
always need workings, not only final answer.
That's what we've been taught. What are your workings? But smooth operator of the race, guys. Mine is the Charles Leclerc.
So is
Yeah,
mine.
I think
Give it
even
to
mine
anyone
is
else.
Charles. Yeah, even mine is Charles Leclerc. Right,
Outstanding.
But I would also not for the entire weekend, but I would also say Ocon, because I think he drove quite a smooth race to come from where he started. And also one more, I have a third smooth operator.
Are Baba
which
what?
is, yes,
This
this is just a smooth operator in jest. Logie Bear is smooth operator because he went from P5 or P6 to the last and
To
nobody
back.
knew how he
To
went.
the back.
He was so smooth about it.
Reverse psychology smooth operator. He went from front to back. No one even noticed. Didn't get involved in any incident. Before you know it, Logie, where are you? 16th, buddy. Right at the back. Last of the finisher. What happened, bud?
home race special.
Reverse psychology smooth operator. Brilliant, brilliant. Cool, Pujams. We come to your, what do you say?
You're part of the
Piece
show.
de resistance, which is
What? My
the
undercut.
undercut. You are already somewhere. Now you're doing time pass, saying that you obviously won it, so we do the coronation, we do something fun. But what were your undercuts for last week? So let's just tabulate the points.
I
for
said
the penultimate week.
Perez on podium. I also said because he had a feel of the track or whatever, he went to Vegas. And Hamilton also, I think I said, but I only got Perez. Did I give any more? I think I chose to do only 2, right?
I think you
I
did
also
2.
can't remember.
Yeah, you did only 2.
Yeah,
I
you
think
did
you
2.
said it's
Yeah, to give
enough.
you all a chance, I did only 2. I said
Mercy.
Perez.
I know, mercy on these
Mercy.
guys.
Sashi, what are yours?
Mine were Alonso top 5. Didn't happen. Second
Fail.
was I said Merckx will lose a total of 4 positions. which happened. I think Lewis Hamilton lost 4 or 5 positions after that first corner thing. And I also said there'll be at least 5 retirements in the race, which
I
did
think there were
not
4
happen.
or 3 there were.
There were
I think.
3.
That
I think there were
was
17 or 16
17
finishes.
classified finishes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there
it was
weren't 5
unfortunate.
retirements, so I don't get
that was
that
not for
also.
sure.
So
you
at
get
least
1
one.
point.
I get 1 point for that.
Good, not bad. Yeah, I think that DNFs though I think was unfortunate. I really thought that was going to happen. I thought that was a great undercut prediction, but unfortunately, actually, the really a good one also just didn't see the light of
I
day.
had more riding on that than this. They'll lose 4
4
places
positions.
at the start.
Yeah.
This was, it could happen, but yeah, I got 1 point from this. But yes, whatever, I take what I get.
Yeah, I think I have 1 point. I said double podium. I bet it all on red, and actually, I would have. If it weren't for the FI, I think I would have got 2. Like I would have got that point. I mean,
for that
too good it was. My analysis of track conditions are going to be cold. All of that was very well thought of. But no, I didn't get one. But I did get a point for Max complaining about the track. I think that was sure shot again. That was 100% going to happen.
Yeah,
so
that was an easy
point.
prediction.
And I had predicted Albon in the points, which actually should have happened given their starting position, but alas, that didn't happen. I get a point. Shashu gets a point, so we kind of, I think we're separated by a point if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to go to the wire for Abu Dhabi as to who finishes last place. Pujams, you are some 10 points ahead. It's not even funny anymore. So let's close out then with the predictions that we have for the season finale in Abu Dhabi. What are your predictions, Pujams? What are your undercut predictions?
That Ferrari will take P2 in the Constructors' Championship. They'll overtake Merc. And I'm going to say, just out of my love for both these guys, that Carlando will tie P4 in the driver.
Tie? Interesting. Yeah. How was the...
Lando's at 195.
Sainz is at 200.
So I think that's why I think maybe there'll be a tie for P4.
Such a sweet one, Pujam.
Such a sweet one. It could happen. You see, it's meant to be. Those are
it's meant to be. It's meant to be. Sashu, what are yours? You come with 3, I'm assuming. Pujam is just doing 2 because...
I have 3 and it's going to be the opposite of sweet.
Oh
no.
So Logan Sargent and Yuki will both score 0 points in the race.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think Ferrari's top 3, both of them. Both of them
top
on the
3.
podium.
Double podium.
Yeah, oh my god!
On the podium.
This is a shocking prediction.
I was going to say Ferrari is going to overtake the Mercs in the constructors, but Pujam's already said that.
But
so
by
I'll do
taking
the
double
Ferraris
anyway, they'll overtake. So
So I'm just going to probably phrase it a little differently. And the third one is a very sweet prediction.
Oh.
Fred Vassar will give Charles Leclerc a kiss after the race.
What is this? How are we supposed to verify this?
After the race, you see, man.
They show.
After the race.
They'll show. I'm going to see the.
We've gotten a bit strange for this last weekend. Out of character.
Snooping to make sure he finds a photograph whether it happens.
Yeah, I know.
I thought he'd say he'll give him a contract or something for...
I thought he'll announce a contract extension or something like
that. No. This is from the heart, guys.
True French style, he gives him a kiss.
True, yeah. So many times he's giving him a kiss.
But double podium,
so this is how he's going to close
both the drivers a kiss.
Yeah, he'll give both the drivers a kiss. Sashu likes all this kissing predictions. That Japan also was very happy about how they kissed that trophy and the trophy was writing. He's a kissing enthusiast. Okay, cool. We've locked that in. I mean,
those are my 3 predictions.
It's gone a bit strange for this last undercut, but cool. So I won't go into these things. I'm going to keep it very academic. I am actually going to say, given how this track is and how Ferrari have performed there in the past, I think Mercedes will just hang on to P2. I'm also saying one McLaren on the podium. I think this is the kind of track where they'll get back to form. And I'm saying no points in the battle for 7th, which means Alpha Tauri won't score, Haas won't score, Williams won't score, and Alfa Romeo won't score. So none of these guys will score. So it's going to be status quo in the battle for 7th to 10th. So yeah, that's
the 0 points prediction that I made.
0 by 0. Yeah, correct. Yeah, similar kind of prediction. Pessimistic about their chances. That's how I roll in pessimism. So yeah, I think that's it. So we set with our predictions now for the last weekend. Hopefully we'll do an official coronation ceremony, pujams in person. Can watch the race, put one crown, and make it very official. But until then, see you guys. It's been a pleasure, and I think this was an absolute banger of a race. Let's hope for.
I have a poem for Toto though. This time I wrote.
Too good. Let's end it on this poem.
Let's go for it.
Let's go.
Hey Toto, you didn't have a lot to say about the manhole cover sitch. Carlos finished ahead of both the Mercs. Well, karma's a bitch. That was fun.
What a way to finish. What a way to
finish.
Standing ovation. Outstanding. So that's how we roll. It's an honor and a privilege. Too good, Pujam. So everyone's now he's a poet. So I think we started a trend. So let's then do a poem segment every time. I think for me it's always going to be on Checo, but I think you guys are more creative with the others. So have fun with it. Yeah, see you guys on that note. See you all. Bye.
Bye. See you guys.